Now that you've laid out the targeting and everything is well defined, the last step is to tell us what you want for contact information and what additional data points you'd be interested in having for those leads when we can find them. So by default, we have selected the standard contact information that we think most people want, which is going to be the first and last name of the person, their company name, the job title of that individual, their direct email address. Then we've got the website URL, LinkedIn profile, if they've got one, and the business's address, again, if they have one. So on the left-hand side, we have over 20 other data points that will matter to many of you, some of them not so much. So take what you want out of this list and move it to the selected column, because everything over here is going to become a header on the spreadsheet we provide you. Starting with the phone number, this phone number is the company's phone number. So if you were to look them up online, this is the phone number you'd associate with that business. Then we get into the direct dial. Just to differentiate this and skip ahead a little bit, is that mobile number usually for the person in this day and age. It could theoretically be an office or desk number, but this number has been tied directly to go straight to that person. So this is the only data point in the entire list that does cost extra. And when it's requested, you're only paying that extra credit inside your account if we've found it for you and provided it. So within that, worth noting, we find it about 20% of the time on average. It could be more than that. It could be less. Again, when you're doing human research, we don't know until we do the research what the results will be. But statistically, 2 out of 10 leads will come back with the direct dial that we have found. So back over here, we have the Google review count and score. And we've talked about these in the filter step if you've watched that video already. Then we've got the Google My Business or Google Business Profile Now link. So it takes you straight there. The status of whether or not they've claimed that is another great insight for our digital marketing clients who, care very much about whether or not those businesses are even aware of their online presence before they reach out to them. Then we've got the company social media links. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter are all available here for you. Then we've got the revenue of the business and the headcount of the business. Revenue, worth noting, what we do is if you go to Google and you search for the revenue of a company and it's out there on the web, what you'll find is one source will claim they're doing $20 million and the next source will claim $5 million. And another source will say $18 million. So what we do is we take the top 3 listed sources that claim the revenue metrics when possible, and we do what we call a simplified weighted average calculation and just put that in your spreadsheet. So if there's 3 sources, we calculate the weighted average and we give you that as the most accurate prediction of that business's revenue based on public sources. If we come back here, we've got data established, so how old the company is. Then the advertising status that comes back to the pixel detection on the website. What pixels have we found? Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, TikTok. We want to know if those are on there. And Google Analytics as well. We've talked about that in some of our other videos. If they're using e-commerce functions on the website, there will be a checkout or a checkout page. We can tell you that as well. Same with if it's a WordPress website. Then we've got the page speed data. This is given to you in milliseconds. So a 3,000 millisecond load time is 3 seconds, and you can grab that as well. And last but not least, these 3 things tell you how we, our team, went out and found this business. We combined the search term you gave us, depending on the list. Now, some of these are only available if you're doing the type of list that's through the small business options, as most lists are. But for enterprise and custom options, these Google business data points aren't always available, so you may not see them in your account. We've got the search term, location, and position. These 3 things combined will be individual columns in your spreadsheet that tell you how we found the business. We combine that search term of a plumber in Atlanta, Georgia, and documented what position they showed up for that specific search term in their location. And the thing is, if you had told us USA was your targeting, okay, well, we had to break that down and go more narrow. So that's why this is really important, because we will tell you, hey, we were still searching for plumbing, but we were searching for plumbing in Syracuse or plumbing in Eagle, Idaho. So you want to know these 3 things together. Make sure if you're getting one, you're getting all 3 of them. And then at the very end here, there's an additional notes section. So you can clarify, hey, actually earlier on, I had entered a headcount limit of 10 plus employees. Well, you could actually say, no problem. Please limit employee headcount to 3 plus employees. And where this is an exception to what's in the interface and it fits what we offer you, we will look at this if we need to find additional leads that go within the parameters or beyond perhaps the parameters given. But generally speaking, this is just a good reference for our team that if we need to clarify what you've done, we'll go back and check this. This isn't for specific instructions, but it's just to supplement what you have done in the previous step. If we need additional clarifications, or if you had little exceptions like that, like, hey guys, you could expand into the next state, you could mention that here if you'd like. Now, at the very bottom of the screen, our last step is to give this list a name. So we're going to call this Coldlytics tutorial for plumbers. And we're going to say we want 5,000 of these plumbers throughout the US. And we're open to 2 decision makers per company. If we can find, a CEO and a founder, good. We want both of those. We're going to try to reach them both. And then last but not least, you will come over here and click launch. Once you've done this, you'll see this list is now being allocated to our research team. That means the best researcher who has done lists like this before is going to be asked to lead this research project for you. Once that's ready, it's going to look something more like this. And it will come back and say, hey, look, here's the results. Of the 25 contacts you requested, we delivered 25. 23 of them came back as valid emails. 22 were catch-all, which just means they are statistically more risky emails, but of emails that we rank as catch-all, fun fact, we score them with AI. So we try to determine if they're 90% or more likely to deliver in spite of them being classified as catch-all by Zero Bounce, which is our email deliverability partner. You can get a link to the spreadsheet or into the database inside Coldlytics directly here on this interface. And if there's more contacts available when that list is done, you'll be able to relaunch this task right here and request the remainder of that list right away. So if you guys have any questions or need clarification at this stage after launching your task, please don't hesitate. Open that chat dialog in the bottom left. And just so you know, our turnaround time is 24 hours during business days. So you should have this list to you within 24 hours. If it's a weekend, you'll get it probably that Monday as well. We're looking forward to sending you your first list.